to start with Craig, so for those who, of course, I know everybody knows you, but for those who don't know you yet, who is Craig?
Who is Craig? That's a big
Craig
question,
Taplin.
Christine. At what level?
Well, at what level you are in right now?
So, so yeah, look, as a person, I'm a father of two children who are 17 and 19. I have two beautiful working dogs, Kelpies, Australian Kelpies. They're
Oh,
sheepdogs. And my wife, Kate, we live in Hampton in Melbourne, in the Bayside suburbs, which is lovely. And at a professional level, I run a business called Momentis, and Momentis is all about helping companies to grow and scale,
mm-hmm.
and also to help turn around companies or teams that aren't performing as well as they should. And so we combine quite a bit of commercial insight, strategy, and work around building high-performing teams and cultures to help improve the performance of businesses. So we work with businesses, both established and startups as well. So anything from a startup all the way through to quite an established business, revenue typically between either pre-revenue as a startup, but through to revenues of up to 500 million Australian dollars. Typically working with companies that are either looking to transform their business or change it in some dramatic way, either because their market has changed or because they're trying to do something new and different. And we give them a lot of help in terms of how to go about executing on that strategy from not just a commercial and a strategic point of view, but from a people and a leadership perspective as well.
Amazing. Okay, well, Craig, I just want to ask you, I love what you're doing actually, and I saw you in action. Uh, may I ask you, what is success to you?
Good question. Well, success to me is really defined by the success that we deliver for our clients. That's why we exist. My purpose is to help build better workplaces where people can thrive and businesses can succeed. And so when they're thriving and succeeding, Christine, that's success. That's exciting. That really gives me a thrill. And so that's why we do what we do. It's to create a better place for people to work and an environment where they can thrive and succeed and do something good for the world.
That's amazing. What would be the ingredients for you? Just on a high level, what would be an ingredients for you to say, for that to happen in any organization or startup?
Yeah, great question. So normally it's around the mindset of the leaders of the business. So it's the CEO or the board or the founder of that business, and whether they're open to thinking differently about how they operate and what they do. If we've got that openness and a degree of humility in those people to be prepared to look at different ways of working and operating, then we know we can have great success.
That's amazing. How do you cultivate that with the mindset part of CEOs? Do you have any, simple tips that you also apply to yourself?
Well, we can't really cultivate that mindset in a CEO. They've either got it or they don't.
Hmm.
And if they don't have it, we typically don't want to work with them because it'll be too difficult to work with them to get those kind of results. If they haven't had that mindset in the past and then they're now experiencing a lot of pain, that's usually a good trigger and a time for us to engage with them, because they're quite motivated to do something differently, and they're not sure what to do and how to do it, and we're in a position to really influence their thinking. And that's where we can have a really big impact. So they may have been sticking to a game plan or a strategy that's not been working, and they've held onto it for too long, because there's that the commitment to it, the sunk cost theory, a situation where their ego is too attached to their plan. The plan's now not working. Things are starting to fall apart. Either they're losing key people, they're losing revenue and customers, and they're at a point where they don't quite know what to do next. And that's perfect, because we're able to look at the business from a very different perspective, understand why things are not going well, and then put in place a plan with the leader and empower them to turn that business around.
That's wonderful. Thanks, Craig, for sharing your passion and what you are doing. Actually, when I met you, I really saw how your mind works. It's very, very interesting and intriguing to me, especially when we went to the Growth and Transformation Hub. So I just want to shift these questions towards your engagement with Symphony 7. May I ask you what led you even to become a part of this community, the Symphony 7?
Yeah, so a few reasons. Probably the first is the mission of Symphony 7 was compelling to me. So this notion of doing some good in the world, creating, advancing the future of humanity and the planet is a pretty bold vision, and that connected with me. Often when we're in business, we're striving very hard to achieve our own goals, and we're very self-focused, and it's difficult also for you when you're running a consulting related business where there's a small number of people involved to really make or have a sense that you're making a meaningful impact. And with Symphony 7, what you've got is this amazing community of people who are like-minded in the desire to do something. I think the second part was that as a business owner and founder of a couple of businesses, it can be a fairly lonely space. And so having the ability to connect and meet new and interesting people from all different walks of life and with different interests has been really rewarding. It's been something to really look forward to in my month. When you're seeing those connection lunches coming around where we can, or the Zoom calls during COVID, it's been great just to step out of the day-to-day and talk to and think with other people who have similar values. I suppose the third thing was that, Symphony 7 gives you an opportunity to very quickly expand your network. I work with a lot of businesses and they have a lot of different needs. And so I'm finding that I'm meeting so many people in Symphony 7 who can add value to my clients. And so I'm able to introduce them into my clients, create a lot of value for those clients who then are very thankful to me for creating that connection and helping me to execute their transformation plan or their growth plan or their turnaround. So that's been phenomenal at a commercial level. So this notion of profit for plenty, that profit isn't a dirty word, that we should try and make profits, but to do that in a way that we can then redirect some of those profits back to doing some good in the world is a really compelling notion for me. So I found it great to be a part of.
Oh, wow. Yes, I can totally resonate with you. The people here have really very strong and shared values, and the skill sets are phenomenal, really. That's why I can see people who's hungry even to make a difference in the world and have an impact. I can really see that. And that's why I'd like you to share the good, the great story that evolved in Growth and Transformation Hub. Would you like to share that to us? What happened? How did it transition to that wonderful story?
Sure. So we were originally the Professional Services Hub. So we were a group of businesses who were all working within or around professional services firms. So we had an interest in that sector. And so we were getting to know each other. We were trying to figure out what you did, what I did, how we could potentially find opportunities for each other. But it was just falling a little bit flat. And it became really apparent that the only way we were really going to get to know each other was to do something together. So to actually work on some projects together, and really then deeply understand the value and skills that the different members of the group had and how we could leverage those. So in going through a bit of a process with the group, we decided that actually maybe we needed to rename the hub from the Professional Services Hub to Growth and Transformation, because all of the participants in that hub are focused in some way or another around helping organisations to grow and transform. So we made that decision to make that shift. That's then led a number of us to see quite a strong commercial opportunity to band together and actually create a new venture out of the Growth and Transformation Hub that will generate opportunities for many of the members of the hub. And so we're in the process of literally pulling together a new company out of that hub, which has been quite an amazing experience.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I was so excited, when I saw the evolution of how even, Anthony let the group, do its course of growth and transformation in that hub. And I saw how everybody, was in action to help each other and really what the Symphony 7 is all about.
Well, there's some really smart and clever people in that group who, great at seeing patterns and exploring opportunities. And so when you get a group of really smart and motivated people together, it's amazing what can be done.
That is so true. Thank you for sharing that, Craig. So my last question for you is, for those people who's just starting up in this world, what would be your advice for them so they can have a thriving life? What would be the best advice ever that you have lived with?
Wow, a thriving life. I would probably say be careful what you wish for, you might just get it. And if you don't wish for anything, who knows what you'll get. So I think the power of being clear about what you want out of life is it's a really important thing to do, to be conscious about no matter how free-spirited you might want to be and explore different things, be clear about the things and the values that you hold deeply and live your life according to those, and set some goals around those elements of your life so that when you finally get there, you don't look back and go, oh, I didn't really want that. and if you do find yourself in that position, you've really got no one else to blame but yourself. So be deliberate, I suppose, is my best piece of advice. Be a bit deliberate about what you want and where you want to go, and who you want to be.
Yes, absolutely, yes. Clarity is really, really important. Do you have any tips for those people who want clarity in life? Do you have any questions that you ask yourself?
I suppose the first question is, in thinking or behaving in a certain way, who am I serving? So am I serving myself? Am I serving someone else?
All right. Wow, that's profound.
It's probably a great question for clarity. What is my motivation here? Is it ego? Is it recognition? Is it to be of service to someone else? What is truly driving why I do what I do? I think when we understand our own motivations, we can be much more authentic in how and how we do what we do.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Craig. So for those people who want to connect with you more, where do they go and how do they connect with you?
Well, they can send me an email at craig@bmomentis.com. That's BE